This is a wonderful subject that I've spent more than 4,000 hours studying, and what I've discovered is that negative emotions are the single biggest enemy that any of us have throughout life. If we had no negative emotions, our lives would be wonderful, as would be our relationships, our health, and everything else. So therefore, the great business of life is to eliminate negative emotions. Wow! When I discovered this, it changed my life and my thinking forever. So to solve this, to eliminate negative emotions, we have to answer the question, where do negative emotions come from? Almost all negative emotions depend on blaming someone or something else for negative situations that happen in your life. The problem here then is that people hold on to those negative emotions, even if they cannot change the outcome, what has happened, and they're still angry about it, they hold on to the negative emotion. So the key to eliminating negative emotions is this: take responsibility for yourself, your reactions, and your responses. I couldn't believe that the difference between happiness and unhappiness was something so simple as just taking responsibility. You see, you cannot take responsibility for your life, your situation, and your reactions, and be negative at the same time. Your mind can only focus on one thought at a time, positive or negative. So anytime you feel negative, say to yourself over and over again, I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible. Now, you might be thinking right now, but Brian, I'm in a situation involving other people. How can I be responsible for what they did? Here's how. In every situation, whether it involves you directly or not, you are always at least partially responsible for what happened. You got yourself into the situation or the job or the relationship. You stayed in the situation even though you knew there was something wrong with it. You did or said certain things in the situation, so you're not completely innocent. You at least had something to do with it. Here's another possibility. Let's say you had nothing to do with a negative situation. Maybe you weren't involved in it at all. Maybe somebody ran into a car in the parking lot, ran into your car. You're not responsible or accountable or anything else, but you're still responsible for how you respond to it. Do you shout and get angry and trouble deaf heaven with your bootless cries, as Shakespeare said, or you take a deep breath, just stay calm? This is what is called your response ability. It is your ability to respond in a positive way, and it largely determines your success and happiness in life. And again, to respond in a positive way, you simply repeat to yourself whenever you feel negative for any reason, wait a minute, I am responsible. I am responsible. The truth is, nobody can make you feel negative other than you by the way you choose to think about the situation. If you think about things that make you feel angry or unhappy, you're going to feel negative automatically. If you think about things that make you happy and excited about your life, you'll automatically feel positive. The most important thing to remember about negative emotions is this: you have complete control over the way you feel, over the way you respond to any situation, and over the things you think about at any minute of the day. Exercise your ability to respond positively. Take responsibility for your role in negative situations and allow yourself to let go of negative feelings that might be trapped inside of you because of things that happened in the past that you cannot change. Before we wrap up, I'd like to leave you with a thought to share with your friends and followers. Here it is. Accept complete responsibility for every part of your life. Refuse to blame others or to make excuses. Success is not an action, it's a way of life. If you want to accomplish great things, greatness must be reflected in everything that you do. Thus, regardless of what it is that you want to accomplish, the path to success must begin by adopting the right mindset. Such a mindset involves the following. The first step to building a mindset for success is to define what it means to succeed. Setting goals for yourself makes it easier to come up with a plan of action to achieve your ambitions and will motivate you to carry out that plan. It also gives you a standard against which to measure your progress and adjust your strategy. You should thus define your life or career goals and then think about what you need to do every day to achieve them. In addition, create short-term goals each day or week, making sure to align them with your broader aims and bigger goals. The second step to building a mindset for success is to stay in touch with your intuition. Many assume that success means making calculated decisions based on empirical data. While you should try to be as empirical as possible, fact-based, such data is not always available. No matter your specific path, you will likely have to make a decision at some point during your career where there is no calculable answer. In this situation, you must be able to listen to your intuition. Though it is not a perfect source of information, your intuition can often sort out problems more quickly than conscious thought can. This will allow you to make decisive choices in difficult situations. Third, never underestimate the value of a positive attitude toward achieving your goals. No matter the path you follow, it can be easy to get discouraged by temporary setbacks or failures to achieve specific goals. Positive thinking means identifying these setbacks as learning opportunities. This makes it easier to overcome small failures and continue striving towards your goals. Positive thinking also tends to make you a more pleasant person to be around, allowing you to attract support from others who can help you along the way. Fourth, you need to transfer your thoughts into action. In addition to positive thoughts, a mindset for success also requires your thinking about how to be productive. Whenever you are thinking about your goals or obstacles to achieving those goals, you must be able to identify clear actions that you can take in response. The more readily you can transfer an idea or desire into a practical action, the easier it will be to make progress towards your most important goals. Fifth, take responsibility for everything you do. A mindset for success means being able to take responsibility for all that you do, whether good or bad. If you make a mistake or harm someone along your path, taking responsibility lets you contain the damage and preserve your reputation. It also encourages you to think about how you could avoid that mistake in the future. Likewise, if you accomplish something, you have to claim responsibility for it. Only then will others realize what you can do and support you on your path to success. The primary reason for financial problems in life is lack of self-discipline, self-mastery, and self-control. Most people have an inability to delay gratification and have a tendency to spend everything they earn plus a little more, which is usually supplemented by loans and credit card debt. One goal that we all have in common is that we all want to make more money. We all want to have enough money so that we never have to worry about money again. But there's a question we often forget to ask ourselves. Will more money truly make you a happier person? There are more people achieving financial freedom faster today than ever before, but yet you'll find many of them are not entirely happy. But with these 7 steps, you can accumulate wealth, become happier, and achieve financial freedom, no matter how much money you have in the years ahead. First, you have to begin thinking positively about money. Thinking negatively about money is an emotional obstacle that you must eliminate in order to achieve financial freedom. You must eliminate thoughts like, money is the root of all evil, or money can't buy you happiness. When you think positively about money, you will attract opportunities and open up more doors than you ever thought possible. Next, rewrite and review your goals for financial freedom on paper every day, and think about how you could accomplish them. This will only take you 5 or 10 minutes, best first thing in the morning. Financial freedom must be the centerpiece of all your work and external activities. Achieving financial freedom is not something that happens in a random or haphazard way. It must be something that you specifically think about and define and plan for continuously. Third, plan every day in advance. The best time to do this is the night before. Planning each day, each week, and month in advance will make you far sharper and more precise at everything you do. You'll have better focus and a greater sense of self-control when you work from a plan. You'll be better able to track your spending habits as well by planning how much you have to spend for the week, the month, and the year, and decide where you will be able to save. The next step is concentrating single-mindedly every hour of every day on the most valuable use of your time. This is the principle of concentration, and your ability to develop the habit of concentration will ensure your personal financial success, perhaps more than any other skill or habit you can acquire. The things you focus on the most and spend the most time doing should be in direct alignment with your financial goals. The fifth step is investing in yourself in terms of your self-improvement and learning. Listen to audio programs in your car, purchase courses on time management, read books on personal finance, and find articles online about money and how to earn more of it. You will have so much knowledge in the area of money that in no time people will start to come to you for advice. Next, you're going to ask yourself these magic questions after every meeting and event of importance in your life. The first question is, what did I do right? And what would I do differently next time? If you take a few minutes and write down everything you did right and everything you would do differently, immediately after a call or situation, you can double and triple the speed at which you learn and grow. Improving yourself and your quality of work will in effect improve the amount of money you make. The final step is to be generous to others. Treat every single person at home and at work as if they were the most important person in the world. It is a proven fact that being a more generous person will help you attract more wealth and become a happier person. We've often heard money doesn't buy happiness, but the truth is that money is essential to happiness, and material prosperity predicts life satisfaction, and the more economic status we achieve, the more satisfied we'll feel with our life. So by choosing to focus on money goals that motivate you while also embedding a positive mindset toward money, yourself, and life in general, you will achieve both increased wealth and happiness. We've all had situations where during the day nothing seems to get done, no matter how good our intentions are. Those days that seem to stretch on forever from the minute your morning alarm begins beeping away until the moment you finally turn out the lights and fall into bed, wondering how such a long day could still leave you feeling so unfulfilled. The cause of our sudden slumps may be related to stress at work, difficulties in our personal lives, and illness or injury, financial issues, or even just a lot of small mistakes or mishaps that have added up to a lasting feeling of demotivation that only becomes harder and harder to shake. When we lose the drive to propel ourselves forward and get lost in self-doubt or procrastination, which often go together, or uncertainty, it can quickly begin to feel like there's no way to get back on track again. Fortunately, this does not have to be the case. There are a lot of different paths that can lead you back to being your very best self with the motivation to keep moving through any situation life hands you, good or bad. If you're dealing with a lack of motivation, find it again with these 3 techniques. First of all, identify your inspirations. A great way to jumpstart your waning drive or enthusiasm for something you need or want to accomplish is to actively seek out something that inspires you. This is honestly one of the easiest ways there is to rediscover the spark of your ambition, and it's because you probably already know where to start. Your personal inspiration can be just about anything. A song that makes you feel great every time you hear it, a set of inspirational quotes that feels like they had to have been written just for you, that card your parents gave you after graduation that lists all of the reasons that they're proud of you. Anything at all, as long as it stimulates you and brings you back to the mindset of confidence and determination that can get your juices flowing again. You can even read a quote book of motivational quotes and it'll get you pumped up. Next, open up to others. It can sometimes be very helpful to remind yourself that you are definitely not the only person to ever find yourself in a slump. Even the most energetic go-getter that you know has had their share of bad days. They just may not have mentioned them to you. It's an unfortunate fact that many of us have a tendency to downplay our hard times when, more often than not, it can do a great deal of good to open up to our trusted friends or family members about our struggles. Acknowledging your current lack of motivation and explaining it to someone with a sympathetic ear can make a world of difference and often results in valuable advice or a new perspective on your situation. As an added bonus, your openness may also give them an opportunity to do the same, to open up to you. Just don't forget to show gratitude to anyone who is kind enough to be your sounding board and return the favor if they ever need it. Ask people, what's the biggest problem you're facing today, and what's the biggest lesson that you can learn from your biggest problem? And change the whole focus of the conversation. Now, third, move past mediocrity. One of the most common causes of motivational burnout can come when we allow ourselves to coast by on the bare minimum of effort required to do whatever it is we need to do. If you find yourself completing tasks on autopilot, stop what you're doing and acknowledge it. Think about all of the ways that you could add a new, more challenging layer to anything you need to do, from completing a mundane task at work to cooking a meal. When you focus on what you need to do, consider the process you've been following and look for ways to do things more efficiently. Are there any gaps in your knowledge about what you're trying to accomplish? Take the extra step and learn something new, then apply it to the task at hand. Push yourself to a new level. Simply committing to improving your efforts and then striving to do anything you set out to do as well as you possibly can, and do it every time, will not only be a much more rewarding and interesting experience, it will also produce results that you can be proud of. Before we wrap up, I'd like to leave you with a thought to share with your friends and followers. You can accomplish virtually anything if you want it badly enough and if you're willing to work long enough and hard enough to get it. Leaders never stop growing and developing. They have the capacity to keep themselves from falling into a comfort zone, the great danger area of success, and they are lifelong students. All leadership qualities can be learned. The hard part is identifying the qualities that you must learn to succeed as an effective leader. Follow these steps today to find out how to improve your leadership skills. First, you must always learn and improve. Never be satisfied. A key to developing leadership qualities is to read, study, and take courses. All leaders are readers. Even though they are swamped with work, they never stop reading business books and magazines, attending conferences, getting into discussions, and learning what is going on. Next, identify what leadership qualities you might be missing and learn them. Can you identify any qualities of effective leadership that you may be missing? It may be a hard thing to do, but the great thing about doing this is that when you know what qualities you are missing, you can work to improve these things about yourself. People will be born with certain leadership qualities, but missing others. Most great leaders became great because they identified the leadership qualities that they were missing and then deliberately set out to acquire those skills. As you're working to make yourself better, remember these 3 rules of becoming a better leader. The first rule is that it doesn't matter where you're coming from, it only matters where you're going. Don't worry about any past opportunities that you may have missed or any mistakes that you may have made because of a weakness. That's all past. It is the future that counts. Just because you haven't been a leader before doesn't mean that you can't become one in the future. The second rule is that if you want your life to get better, you must get better. If you want to be an effective leader, then you need to develop your leadership qualities. Work on developing any quality that you think you need, whether it is integrity or patience or delegation, until you have perfected it, and then move on and practice another. The third rule is that you can learn anything that you want to learn. You can become anything that you want to become. Leaders know what they want and then set out about making it happen. Effective leaders are always looking to improve themselves. In 4 basic steps, you can begin to improve and become a better leader right now. First, do more of certain things. Do more of those things that are of greater value to you and more important to achieving results as a leader. Resolve today to do more reading or to work on improving on the leadership qualities you may be missing. Second is do less of certain things. At the same time, you must deliberately decide to reduce the amount of time you spend on certain activities that impede your success as a leader or that don't help you move ahead faster. Third, start to do those things that you aren't doing today and that you need to be doing for the future. What are the skills and competencies or knowledge that you need in order to become a better leader? Identify them and then write them down. How can you go about learning these qualities? And fourth, stop doing certain things altogether. There may be many activities that are no longer relevant to your goals as a leader. Step back and evaluate all of your activities from the perspectives of what you are trying to achieve. You may find that what was once important is no longer important at all and should no longer take up any of your time.